Now, Diane, you've been to my place many times. You know I love orchids. And
Yes.
I'll be honest, one of the things I found hard to believe is the statement in Genesis that all the creatures ate plants, because my yard is also full of swampy water. Down the bottom, we've got a big dam, and the mosquitoes love it, and therefore they love us. But
Yeah.
if you are very observant, you soon will notice that it's only the female mosquitoes that put the bite on you. Now, I won't make any morals out of that, like one of our readers has made some anti-feminist suggestions on the side there. But in reality, growing orchids really helped me, because I've noticed that there are quite a few orchids that are fertilized by the strangest things, including miniature frogs, miniature toads that actually get into the flower because it's so tiny or so big, and they actually go down to the bottom and they get the nectar and move back out. And this is true of the mosquitoes. I've actually cut them in half, and you can watch the mosquito inside come in, suck up the nectar. Now, he went in there for the nectar. There's nothing else in there that would interest him at all. And the female can do this too, but she stops doing it when she needs the iron to get in her reproductive system. But you can watch him suck up the blood, suck up the nectar, and then he will escape out a special part of the flower and take the pollen with him, and deposit it on another flower. So there is an original design for a sucking, an original need for a sucker who will actually be able to squeeze out a flower and get the pollen on his back, that we never even think of. And in schools, you don't get taught about the benefits of the good design in the beginning. So the reason I'm mentioning that is, all you creationists out there, don't look at the present and assume that what you see now, mosquitoes that bite you, spread malaria and all that sort of thing, is part of God's cleverness in design. The cleverness is certainly in the sucker. The cleverness is certainly in the ability to detect what food it needs, but the cleverness is built into it from the beginning, when everything was very good. And I don't know if you've got diseases from mosquitoes or whatever, but none of them are very good at all. So they were not present in the beginning. So it's a caution, isn't it, Diane? We need to not look at the world. In fact, I brought in a couple of other things today. You can give me the whole screen if you like, Sam, because I take these things here to give my wife down at the care home. She likes eating grapes. Now, these are degenerate grapes, actually, because no crunch. There's no seeds in there. So you don't have to sort of spit out. Delicious. These, by the way, are not the original grapes. The original grapes all had seeds. And we have noticed, farmers have noticed, that if you plant the grapes, occasionally one of them will be formed without a seed in it. And you take a cutting off that bunch and plant it, and all of a sudden you have a seedless bunch of grapes. So don't assume because things have no seed now, they never had seeds. The seedless grapes may be sweet, they may be easy to eat, but they are part of the fallen world. And I mean, I live in Queensland. Do you recognise that fruit? I'm getting a free breakfast on this program, I tell you. I'm very fruitarian. But the one thing you can't see, can you see? Well, there's almost no seeds in there. Now, in Queensland, derogatorily by those people who live in Tasmania and Canberra, we're known as banana benders. It's meant to be an insult. But we grow more bananas than anybody else in the rest of Australia. But none of them have seeds. But Diane, you've been up to my place and seen some of my wild bananas. We've actually peeled them off. What do you notice is inside the wild bananas?
Well, the wild bananas do actually have seeds.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
And the seeds are big, and you can crunch on them if they like. They're not very nice.
No, they're not.
In reality, many plants in this world are also a victim of good to bad to worse. Now, I honestly don't know how you would have dealt with wild bananas. Did you have to scrape the tiny bit of flesh from around the seeds? I mean, I don't like pomegranates for that reason. You end up spitting seeds out like a submachine gun. Is that what they're meant to be like? Sometimes you'll find loss of seeds is not natural. Loss of seeds is caused by us choosing something. Might be a mutation in the beginning, but we've made it to our advantage. Whether it's the bananas who have lost their seeds and we've taken advantage of, we don't know. They still exist, wild bananas. They still have massive big seeds and nobody eats them at all. I don't even know of an animal that eats them. But again, the caution, Diane, nobody should take the present and extrapolate it backwards, correct?
No, that's right. We can study the present now, but we need to put that in the context of the history. So that's why it's important to know the biblical history of the world, the real history of the world.